Grandpa's gonna sue the pants off
Pants
the
off of
Santa.
Santa.
That's what
Grandma's
Grandpa's
gonna
gonna
do.
do. That's what Grandpa's
Grandma's-
gonna
I
do.
don't know.
Off the Santa. That's what.
Hello and welcome back to the Schmaltz Christmas special.
All I want for
Uh,
Christmas
Is
is
you.
you.
Maybe asking why we have um,
Hello.
or a bean. I mean, it's the best bread had, I guess, a bean.
Oh yeah, for anyone who's not actually watching the video, I've got a bean. It's a big fluffy marshmallow bean
Yeah,
thing with Santa's hat. Got a bow tie. My sister's, but he's quite close sister.
Yeah, that's his sister's. This is mine. So yeah, I don't know why I own a Muppet, but I do. I don't know why I went blonde when I was 7.
You were
I was
blonde.
like, I made this. Like, you got to create the Muppet.
Oh,
This
like
isn't just
Build-A-Bear.
yeah, it was like Build-A-Bear, but Build a Muppet in New York.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is
It's like
quite...
a puppet though. I don't know what kid would want this. Like, it's got like,
Yeah. After watching the Muppet Show and stuff, there's so many ideas you could have done. And you just have like an orange guy.
I went for the simplest one to do. Okay. Jeez. Right. Okay. So what we're reviewing today, Bradley?
Christmas things, because it's Christmas almost. Probably
It's our
Christmas when you listen to it.
extravaganza.
Probably past Christmas when you listen to this. But anyway, it's Christmas now. So
Listen to this Christmas Day when it's probably up. Who is actually gonna?
sad enough to sit
Oh,
Christmas Day. Yeah, yeah.
Old Grandma Nora that we can't see because of COVID. Like, I mean... So, as you may have guessed, what do you think our first one is? I don't know why I'm asking. It's like there's someone there. But our first film is A Muppet's Christmas Carol. Our second film we're going to review is Grandma Got Hit by a Reindeer.
Oh, by a Reindeer. Christmas classic. God, how can you forget that? It's such a well-known, piece of Christmas history.
What that was literally today. Or last night or whatever it was. But I was like, yeah, let's review this one. I was like, okay. And then finally, because we're a triple threat, we have got Jingle All The Way.
We don't mess about here, do we? The Christmas special, we're going to do 3 films in one, even though one was 50 minutes. But, whatever.
I'll put timestamps to each film in case you get bored. Because I'm sure a lot of you probably...
We've got the 3 greatest Christmas films of all time here.
I love how the Muppet didn't last long. It was such a bad gag. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, all right, let's do this. So, A Muppet's Christmas Carol. Let me get the smallest notebook in the world.
Oh wow! Wait, didn't you used to write like 15 pages in like your huge notepad? Have you done like the full book just for this episode?
I've done 2 pages on Grandma Got Hit by a Run Over rather by
fair enough.
I've got 4 pages on Jingle All The Way, and for A Muppet's Christmas Carol, I have nothing because I almost fell asleep when we were watching it because I was that tired. So, all right, let's do it. Brad's going to give a plot summary.
Well, it's the Christmas Carol. If you don't know what the Christmas Carol is, then what have you been doing with your life?
It's a classic by J.K. Rowling, and no, of course it's
Muppets, well known from the Disney franchise.
Everyone's actually going to think I'm serious, but
yeah.
No, Charles Dickens,
Charlie. So we got good. I've never actually watched it before. I know the Muppets because they're pretty huge. I knew that my favourite one was the meat guy. The guy who looks like a sausage or a shaved penis or something with a little green tuft on his head. What's he called?
Shaved ginger pube penis.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, everyone knows him.
Everyone's favourite Muppet.
I know he's my favourite because he's just so innocent. He just goes meep.
You wouldn't let me make one of those at the Muppet Place.
Could you
tell you that for a fact.
Oh,
no, actually, give me a second. While you do your plot summary, I'll get you something.
All right, yeah.
Special.
So it literally is this Carol. But we've got Muppets as everyone except Bob what's called Scrooge and his family. Scrooge is Michael Caine, of course, because they needed like an old Shakespeare guy to do a Christmas Carol. And he did great against Muppets. That's clearly his ballpark.
Yeah, it was great when he was talking to the ghosts of Robert and what was the other name? Robert and.
What is it? Oh yeah, Marley's, isn't it? Jacob Marley and Bob Marley.
Yeah. When he was talking to them, the Muppet was like, here, for example. I've got actually a prop to use. So Muppet's here, and he was like, what are you doing? For the audio listeners, I apologise. I was just demonstrating that he was not looking at the Muppet itself. Now, this is what I was going to show you. This is a little bonus for the visual listeners. This is the Muppet Creation book. Okay. So, that is my Muppet that I gave them.
Oh, so you get one every time you make a Muppet?
Yeah, no, like you use stickers. If you look closely, you stick stickers down.
You stick like layers of items on top
of
each other.
And they do it like that. My dad created one, but he never bought it.
Oh, yeah, I'm not surprised. He's like some weird.
It cost like £4
something.
And then look, there's my mum's one. Got a beard.
I mean, now I've seen
look,
options.
you never got the meep. There was no meep option, really. Maybe the middle one.
You could have, yeah. It's a green meep. Yeah.
But there you go. That's the end of the whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've got Michael Caine, not a Muppet, with his classic British accent, Michael Caine. Or blow the bloody doors off and Muppets and things.
Bro, I care about you. Oh no, it's terrible.
Merry Christmas, one and all.
That's better, actually.
Was it actually? That's what I was saying.
No, not really.
Anyway, yes. So it's a normal thing. We got. I keep forgetting his name. Scrooge in his bank office. He's got rats working for him. He's got Kermit. Is it Bob Cratchit?
A Christmas Carol, surely. We should just explain.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think the main thing that I enjoyed was the funny ways that he shows Muppets as like the main the different characters. I love when you were saying before, like the Marley guys, Bob Marley and what's it called, Jacob Marley or whatever. Is that what he's called? I can't remember. The ghost guy.
What it is. We literally just watched this tonight.
The guy who comes as a ghost in his doorknob. They chose the two old men who always laugh. They always come in a pair. I think they're quite well known Muppets. I don't know how to describe them more than that. Can you do the laugh?
Like they do. Oh.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
these two old men who are always really, grumpy and stuff, and they're the Marleys. I thought that was when he comes through the doorknob, and you just see his bum chin just come out first. Like,
I liked it was an actual Muppet as well, not the CG again. Like, it cuts to a Muppet doorknob.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. There was stuff like that. There was some cool stuff like the wide shots that I've pointed out when it like zooms out from the Muppets and they just stood up on their own, and it does seem kind of cool when you're so used to seeing wires on them and them slightly hiding behind tables and stuff. But they were just kind of sat there or stood outside like singing carols or whatever, and it was.
I like the rabbit. That was like freezing to death.
Yeah, outside. Yeah, no, that's. I think
makes me sound sick, but
there is something about Muppets that just seems kind of cool, that it's practical and that they worked around it, and
they use like CGI when they're walking from a distance as well. They use like a CGI Kermit when he was.
Oh yeah, they used it like once, twice. Yeah, kind of noise, but the rest of it was actually I really enjoyed. Yeah, so we've got the spooky ghosts.
The ghost of Christmas.
Oh yeah, they sing a song, don't they? They're like, we're Marley and Marley, something like that.
Marley and Marley, way.
And then he's getting strangled by chains or something. So that's about it. Yeah, it's a musical as well. The musical stuff didn't get me too much.
Michael Caine singing.
Yeah, there was
Drew with Piers Brosnan singing in Mamma Mia.
Out of singers, you don't pick Michael Caine, do you? Because it was like he was just talking musically. He was still had his accent. He still had his Britishness to him. He was just singing it.
And he seemed
it was,
he didn't really care either. He was like going like, you know, and it's Christmas, yeah, and it like cut, and it's like, da, 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 da.
that was
else. So we had three ghosts. The first ghost was creepy as hell. It was the ghost of Christmas Past.
Oh God,
It
yeah.
was, yeah.
I think they tried to do it like the actual Muppets, but the ghosts they tried to do it in ways that represented what they originally looked like or what they described and stuff like that. The first god was like creepy as hell, wasn't he? He was like
it was a Muppet face CGI'd onto a floating ghost.
Ghost body, but it was like a boy, weren't it? It was kind of like Chucky. It was something like Chucky, like he was floating around like. Oh yeah, that was it. It was like, touch my hand and you will fly. Just like, oh my God. Well, like, somehow, like, what's that girl who crawls out the TV with her hair out?
Oh, the ring.
Yeah, it looks like the girl out the ring, but floating, just without the hair. It was so weird. I did not like that. Then they go back in time. Oh yeah, so my whole thing with this film, every other Christmas Carol has been about Scrooge. He's just been an evil guy. He's not been very nice to anyone, and and then they go on this whole thing, and it's about his redemption. Like they're showing him the error of his ways and how other people matter and all that lot. And then he comes to his senses at the end and he helps everyone. This one, like before we got to the ghost, what did he do? What did he do that was bad? He didn't give to charity. That one. He said that he gave enough with taxes, which isn't nice, but it's kind of fair enough because taxes just take from everyone. And then is like Kermit comes up and stuff like that, and they're like, "Please, can we have Christmas Day off? Like, it's a celebration. We don't want to work it." And he lets them have Christmas Day off, even though he doesn't think they should have it off. He thinks it should work.
I swear that doesn't happen in the original, does it?
I've never heard that anywhere else. And he lets them have Christmas Day off, and it's like, actually, he's a pretty decent lad, this guy. And then the ghosts come.
That's literally my only day off this year at work.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I've got.
So he seems a pretty decent lad to me. Like he doesn't annoy me at all. And then they go back to his house with the Marleys, and he's just sat on his own in front of the fire, and he just seems like he's a lonely old man. He just seems quite sad. Like all he needs is a friend. He's not evil. He's just kind of grouchy.
Like he wanted them to stay in on Christmas Day, so he wasn't alone.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe that's it. He just wanted to come into work, so he had someone to talk to. Because otherwise, he'd be sat in front of his fire for a full day, like just talking to himself and his ghosts. It's like then they take him back in time. So I'm already feeling kind of sorry for him. They take him back in time to past, obviously. You see him as a kid, lonely once again. What a surprise! He doesn't play with any of the other kids. He thinks that working is better. That's kind of sad because he hasn't learned how to make friends. That's a bit mean, Then they go to this party. Then what was it at Fuzzy Rubber Chickens, where he worked when he was a bit older, but he was like our age. He
invented though, because in that time period.
He what?
In that time period, that must have been like such a
yeah. Everyone's just like, oh, a chicken.
It's witchcraft.
Yeah, well, it's witchcraft. It screams when you squeeze it. Oh my God, it must be alive.
That must be like they did to Fezziwig, like they burnt him alive in the Muppets version as like a
witch. So we got Fuzzy who owns it. We got his wife, who looks exactly like Fuzzy but with like a dress on. That was a bit weird. We've got what is it, Swedish Chef as well. Which I thought was a bit sad because he was only in
That must be racist nowadays.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
I think it was maybe back in the day, but I'm saying nowadays.
All right, it's the kids show in it. No,
all right. Each kid about racial stereotypes. That's the Muppet.
But that I was a bit sad that he was only in it for like 3 seconds actually. I wanted him to be like Bob Cratchit or something, like one of the main characters. Can you imagine just half?
They kind of Kermit as like random character, eh?
Imagine half like if he actually played Bob half the film with like Michael Caine talking to Bob Cratchit, and then Swedish Chef going back to hurdy gurdy gurdy gur. Michael Caine just sat in the corner like, what has my life come to?
No, what about rather than even Michael Caine, just have him as Scrooge?
Oh yeah, that'd be
No
well good.
dialogue.
Yeah, Shepherd Grey hair. He's losing it a bit.
What was the Ghost of Christmas Present? Was the puppet? It was just a guy in a suit.
Well, we got he met the girl at the party, didn't he? He met his girlfriend at the party, and then next scene we cut to, she decides, oh well, he's able for a house for her before they get married because he wants them to move into a house, and she says, well, I don't like how you're saving money, so you clearly don't love me anymore, and it's like, he's trying to buy a house for you. What a bitch.
Seriously, I think in this version we just felt sorry for Scrooge.
Like everything was it just seemed so sad. Like this old man had just lived his life and everyone had just shot on him. It's just well mean. So it just kind of ruined Christmas for me.
I don't think this is like the interpretation that they wanted.
This is what they meant, especially in a Muppets film. But they're just like, so yeah, his girlfriend leaves him because he's trying to buy a house for her.
Maybe the Muppets are like speciesist. Like, because they're human, right?
Yeah, when you cut to his nephew or whatever, and they were having the Christmas party, they didn't have any Muppets, did they? They were all people as well. So it's just people living on their own, like two families, like on their own.
It's like Avatar or like District 9 or something. Yeah. Like shit's going down.
That's it. That's what they wanted, a fluffy
Planet of the Apes. In a couple of years, it'd just be Muppets and Mark Wahlberg will land.
Then we got Ghost of Christmas Present, like you said, who's the big guy who eats loads of stuff.
Looks like a mascot of a football team in America.
Yeah, big beard, ginger guy, like big all over. And then they do another song, which I can't remember because the songs weren't all that, I'm going to be honest.
Like literally, when you think about Muppet songs, there's actually some memorable ones, especially about like original Muppet Show. And then like with this, it was just like, I don't even know, I can't remember. I remember Muppets Christmas Carol because I actually quite liked this movie when I was a kid. And I know my mum
do one. I remember there's one that's like really singing it where it's just like, what's that one called? What is it?
All I remember is when Marley and Marley away.
So he does a little song anyway, and then he's like, so this is current Christmas Day, so he's like, let me go see my family, right? He's really excited. He's like, oh, I really want to go see my family. So they take him to his nephew's house, and they're playing a little game of yes no. So everyone kind of knows yes no. It's where you ask questions and you have to say something other than yes no. So, like, I suppose, or I guess. And then
game in that time period, Like,
yeah, it's pretty fun actually. I thought they'd all just be, I don't know, sat around drinking tea and
with a Ouija board. I don't know.
All the people dying in the streets of plague something. But they seem to be having a good time. I don't know. Oh yes, they're playing a game of yes no where you have to guess what this guy's thinking of. So he could be thinking of anything. It's pretty much 20 questions, but there's not a number. Anyway, so they get down. What is it? They get to oh yeah, so they get down to it. Something. What his nephew's thinking of is something that's unwanted, and it's a creature. Right? So they've narrowed it down to an unwanted creature, and the nephew's just like, yeah, and then the woman goes, Scrooge, and Michael Caine's just in the corner, like he's like guessing along, like, is it a cat? Is it no? Is it a rat? And then they all just start laughing, like, yeah, it is. And he just like his face drops, and it's like he's about to start crying because his family just called him an unwanted creature. An unwanted creature.
I don't think that's entirely fair in this version, is it? Really? Like Scrooge in like the original, like, tale is a lot meaner, isn't he?
Definitely, yeah, he's way meaner. But in this one, he's like, he's just lonely before the ghosts come, and then he's already open to everything. But in this one, his family are absolute pricks. They call him an unwanted creature, and he looks like he's about to cry. And I swear to God, I was so close to crying after I saw that because I just saw his face drop. I was like,
this is why you should be an actor.
Yeah.
This is...
It was like straight away that it was like, where do you want to go? Christmas present, anyone, any person, anywhere in the world. I want to go see my family. He goes to them, and they call him an unwanted creature. Disgusting. I hate him. He's what a I thought he deserved
And a bit of
slap after that.
context, I played that character in a play, and Bradley hates me too.
Yes,
Anyway,
yes, I did.
so the Ghost of Christmas Future.
Then we go to Kermit's,
Yes.
and he goes into Kermit's house, who's what is it, Bob Cratchit or whatever, with Tiny Tim and Mrs. Piggy's his wife, and Miss Piggy, sorry. Well, I guess it's Mrs. She's married to Kermit now.
Oh, is this the present still?
Yeah. So they go.
He's aging up now, though, isn't he? Isn't he getting older?
The ghost is getting older each time they go somewhere, which is a cool addition, I think.
It is when they had to make a new Muppet head every
yeah,
time.
it was pretty nice, yeah. But then they go to the Kermit's house, and what do? They shit on Scrooge. They're like, oh, he's an old man.
They literally take a shit on Scrooge.
He doesn't care. He doesn't give us money. He doesn't pay it. He doesn't deserve friends and all that lot. And it's just like, and Scrooge is just like, I'm brink of tears in the corner. He's just like, oh my god, just a lonely old guy, like with no friends.
He deserves it. You know why? Because Michael Caine didn't give a flying hell about this film, from what we could tell.
I thought he. I looked up some stuff afterwards. I thought he was like really proud of it.
Was he actually?
Yeah. I mean, it's decent. Everyone likes it.
I'm not going off any background. I've not Googled anything. I just mean, it's just his performance is like, he seems like he's just doing it for a paycheck.
Yeah.
Maybe it's hard to act with Muppets.
He can't, he must have really cared if he wanted to sing. Yeah, so he's gone to everyone he knows pretty much, and they've all just been dicks. And at this point, I felt so bad for Scrooge. Like, he doesn't seem that bad a guy. Anyway, I've stopped making notes after this because I just felt really sad. I was just like looking at him, oh my god, what an innocent little man. He just doesn't deserve it.
You've got that, and you see Bob Cratchit, you see Tiny Tim, who's like a small version of Kermit, but he's like a darker green, so he looks like he's on his last legs.
Ill Kermit.
Yeah. And then
is there any other presents?
For some reason, that family though, they've got 2 children that are pigs, and like 3 frogs, don't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the girl children are pigs and the male children are frogs. As if there's no like.
Is that like the way the gender works then in Muppets?
Yeah. Why is there no green pigs as well? Like, see a green pig or a frog with a snout. That'd be interesting.
That'd be great. Yeah, like a pig with like frog eyes and like.
God, it'd be disgusting, wouldn't it?
So he's there like this,
with his trotters. Like, oh yeah, it'd just be a tadpole with trotters, wouldn't it? Just like,
everybody, it's Tiny Tim, kill me.
Yeah. So we got the future after that. What was it? Oh yeah, Tiny Tim died. That was one of them.
Cool. I think Future's a very cool Muppet.
Yeah, this bit. Well, they all kind of look similar actually in all the films I've seen. They're all just kind of like Death styled, aren't they? Where it's just like a tall hood with no face. Like
it had a Muppet twang. It had like Muppet hands. Like the robes were like not robes. Like they looked like robes, but they were like hard. Does that make sense? Like a pillow, like a memory foam pillow.
Yeah. Oh, Death's chilling in there, isn't he? He's got a good life.
He's probably boiling.
Memory foam pillow, just asleep. Go on, do my job for me.
He doesn't even know what's happening.
Yeah.
We got that, and we get like, isn't it like he's dead, and like there's this weird spider, and these there's a prostitute Muppet as well.
Yeah, what, they picking apart clothes or something of like someone who's died. But it wasn't Scrooge who died, it was just someone else, but the point was that could be Scrooge.
I thought it was Scrooge.
Was it Scrooge? All right. Oh yeah, so once Scrooge dies, it's like, oh, they just pick apart his clothes and no one really cares about him.
Wanted his coat or something.
Yeah. So not only is he been traumatized with his past, as he found out that none of his family or friends, in quotes, care about him at all. But now he's being shown his future, where he just dies with nothing to his name. No one remembers him. It's just like breaking down. It's a film about breaking down the layers of a man until he's just a shrivel of his former self, crying in the corner with nothing left. That's all it is.
So If you want some festive cheer, especially this year,
That was it.
we recommend a Muppets Christmas.
we get to the that was it. We got to the end of the Ghost of the Futures bit where it's shown Scrooge like his grave after he's died or whatever. Like showed him die, showed what people think about him when he died, showed that Tiny Tim's died because he didn't have money or something. Like the one kid he cared about, Tiny Tim, has died as well.
I don't understand that. I was saying to you,
Yeah.
how does a child like stay alive because now they have money?
Mm.
It's not like nowadays where they have access
like
to like
incredible
health,
treatment.
like private healthcare. Like
can't get one.
no healthcare like that good back then that would save a kid like who was like TB or whatever.
To the top doctors, waits on candy. They just go down to the local druggie.
I get one of those doctor's masks on. Like,
yeah. Eat these mint herbs and wipe this pig's blood over your forehead, and then you'll be fine.
Pig's blood?
Mum?
You have to watch what you say in the Muppet.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That was it. We got to the end of the Ghost of the Future, or whatever. Well, I was like, Christmas films are meant to give you Christmas cheer. You're meant to feel full and happy and like understand the meaning of Christmas. Like, you're meant to feel good and full, and that it's about other people and everyone's meant to work together, and it's a great time. And at the end of this bit, which was most of the film, like it was 10 minutes left, I just felt sad. I felt really down. I was like, I just felt so sad for Scrooge. Like, I don't know, he just didn't deserve it. He didn't deserve it.
You know what?
Not one
Let's
bit.
drinking his name, probably. Drinking to Scrooge. He probably died shortly after this because
died anyway. No one actually cared about it.
Yeah. It wasn't that many years after on that tombstone, was it? He might as well live his life then, I guess.
Yeah. Yes. Then anyway, it's the normal Christmas Carol stuff where he comes back from the ghost. He's really happy. He tells someone to go buy a big turkey.
Eats the rabbit.
He gives money to the charity. Oh yeah, the rabbit from before, the cold shivering one, to get a turkey. Gives money to charity. Takes literally everyone in the whole of the city to Tiny Tim's house with Kermit and Miss Piggy, and they have a huge meal.
I want to ask something though. Like, is that turkey a roasted turkey Muppet? It is plastic, and it does look like it could very well be like because what species exist? Because there's frogs.
Well,
there's pigs.
We did see the turkeys in the window, didn't we? We saw the turkeys behind him. Saw the turkey Muppets that they floated.
So that's just a dead person that they're eating. Yeah. Like, that's pretty fucked up.
They all have a nice Christmas dinner at Tiny Tim's. His nephew's there, and I was like, don't you dare sit down and have Christmas dinner with your nephew. He deserves a slap.
Fred, right, in the original story, in the original story, Fred represents the Christmas spirit. That's what he represents. I'm talking this crap because I had to play the character and I had to find something, right? So, he represents the Christmas spirit. He's always cheery, he loves Christmas, he's dead positive. But in this version, I agree he's a bit of a bastard. Because that normally, it's not him that does that, it's his wife. And he's like, no, don't say that, it's my uncle, like kind of thing.
That's what you can kind of make the joke, but then if everyone's kind of like, you can't really say that about someone. That's a bit mean. That makes sense. But just doing that and then everyone cackling as it like hysterically laughing.
It's funny though, like especially when he's watching in the corner, like it's great.
I hated that. It boils my blood. That does. It really angered me. I just wanted to give him a hug. It's like he didn't deserve that.
Well, he's not got many years left, so.
No.
And
then that was pretty much it. Oh yeah, whilst he's doing all this, he sings his song. Which we've already kind of talked about.
A bit. He's like massaging his neck for some reason, and then which isn't as bad when it's a Muppet. But imagine if that was a small child. It's weird. And then it ends. That's it. The framing device of this story is sort of spoken by Gonzo and what's the rat called?
Rizzo the rat, I think.
Gonzo and Rizzo.
Yeah.
So and he's playing
Charles.
Yeah. And I don't know who Rizzo's playing. Is he just playing Rizzo?
He's just Rizzo, yeah, he's just helping out.
And so you've got
Really
these little scenes throughout, which actually are some of my favorite ones, because like they're trying to follow the story, and like when the ghost of Christmas Past like flies him away, they like use a grappling hook on his leg and fly into the air.
Yeah, to go back in time with him. Yeah, that was kind of funny. Yeah. So I thought, I don't know. Overall, I thought it was good. It was fun, but honestly, it did. Weirdly enough, my whole thing was distracted just by how much I felt bad for Scrooge.
And you want to know why we reviewed this film, Schmaltz viewers? It's because yesterday I realised I had this Muppet, and I went to Brad. We need to do another film for. We're like, what about Muppets Christmas Carol? And so
pull this guy out. Can you do a rendition of Marley and Marley Woe with your puppet?
Yeah. Ready. Let's do this. I mean, this will make the Muppet a bit more worthwhile, you know?
Yeah.
I'll be the other Marley.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait. Go
on.
There we go.
In your arm round.
Yeah. We're Marley and Marley way.
Wow, that was incredible.
I don't know what else the lyrics were. What was it?
No, I don't either. I just know that line.
Okay. That was just for you. That's your wank bank, though.
Yeah, I thought the Muppet stuff was kind of cool. Obviously, I feel like the art of Muppetry is really it's really
the art of Muppetry. I honestly nowadays, when you don't see anything like that, really. Although Jim Henson, didn't they do Dark Crystal? Isn't that Jim Henson, or is that Frank Oz?
No.
I think it's Jim Henson. Jim Henson's Puppets is Dark Crystal, the weird 80s film. You know what I'm on about? Well, they did a Netflix show recently with 4 puppets, and that looks good. That's something that I appreciate. I've not watched it, but I've seen the original Dark Crystal, and that's a good movie. So, they are sort of trying to bring these puppets back, but I don't think it made any money. I think Netflix were just like, we want to do this. Here, have some cash. And then no one watched it. I'm pretty sure it's just on Netflix, in the dead zone, you know? I've always appreciated practical effects. I tell you this all the time. I'm a Star Wars fan. Brad knows this. And best Star Wars is practical Star Wars. And that includes puppets, obviously, all the aliens and everything. So I love Muppets. Hence why I bought a Muppet when I was 11. People went to New York, right? They went to the Apple store. They went, could I have an iPhone or could I have an iPod? You know, I wanted a Muppet for $100. That's the type of kid that I was. You know,
100 quid.
Was $100.
All right. Ooh. Nice.
I mean, it's shut down now, so this is probably worth a fortune. But
I don't know if you got the one that your dad designed. I think that'd be worth a fortune. That's more like it. The weird,
terrifying. He looks like that American comedian. What's he called? Not the scientist one.
Bill Nye.
Not. I'll remember his name probably halfway through the Jingle All The Way review. But any American, if anyone watches this that's American, we must have viewers at this point because the amount of downloads we've been getting, there must actually be people that watch us. So you know what? I'm gonna be like, who is the scientist guy? He was in some VHS movie or something as well. I'm trying to remember his name. But yeah, Weird Al. Not scientist, Weird Al. Weird Al Yankovic, right? He looks like that. My dad just made him.
Yeah.
I don't know where I got scientist from, but yeah. No. So what would we rate this movie? Well, actually, I haven't given my final thoughts. No, I have. I just did. Right, ratings. Yeah. I love puppets, and so in turn, you win me over with Muppets. That's my final thoughts.
What was your ranking? What do you reckon? And I will be comparing these to your Ice Age ranking. It's
going to kill me, but I didn't enjoy it as much as what I used to when I was a kid, because I used to love that film. And I probably would give it I don't know, I think other Muppet movies are better. So I'd probably give it like a. I mean, it's a good Christmas film though. So 6.
6. I think I'm similar. Yeah, so that was it. I enjoyed it. I can see how people loved it, especially if you watched it as a kid. Well, kind of watched it now. I like that was it. I kind of appreciate the Muppet stuff, but there weren't too many laughs in it. I didn't find it that funny. The story's just Christmas Carol, relatively. So I thought it was kind of good, but I don't know if I'm against it unless someone else put it on. I think I'd probably give it a 6 as well. Actually, I'd agree with that. Yeah, I know it's a mad one, isn't it? I've also I've clearly put this below Ice Age 2 as well. Love that. did we put it between Ice Age like Easter Special as well?
Right.
I think we gave like Ice Age Easter Special like a 7 or something as well. So.
I think I thought that was my favourite, the one where they painted the eggs and like you shoved it up his ass for some reason.
It was really
dodgy, So right, see you in a second for Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
So excited.
I mean, this is Brad's choice, so God help us.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer. Come to my house Christmas Eve.
You dropped a pill.
There's no such thing as Santa. But as for me and Grandpa, we believe. Sing it, Grandpa. Grandpa got run over by. Okay, I won't sing the full thing. But,
Grandpa got run over.
Grandma. We're doing Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, the greatest piece of Christmas artistry to ever come to cinema and music, because it's a combined effort, really. It's just a full experience, really. You know, like a nice hearty glass of wine. Full bodied. It's fruity. It's plenty of fruitcake. Okay, for any of you weirdos who don't know what Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer is,
weirdos. I didn't have a clue before you made.
Absolute psychopaths. How can you not even know that? It's I don't even know what it is. It's an animated film, but it's only 15 minutes long. So I'm guessing it was like a TV special or something. It's American, which is probably why none of us know it. But it was a song that you might know. I guess that's slightly more well known, but it's not that well known anyway. Which is the one I was just singing.
Well-known
no,
song.
exactly.
I've heard it like twice in my life. Like.
It is a genuine song. I have in my room every year we put out my you know how you have like so each of the kids in my family we each have our own different like Christmas toys that we put in our room. And mine is this little reindeer in a rocking chair, and you squeeze his hand and he starts rocking back and forth and singing "Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer." So I think that's when I found out that, you know, so I really I know the song well just because of that guy, because he sings it for like 2 minutes.
Well, you didn't explain this to me before we
no. I kind of forgot it. And then this animated film is based off of that song. They literally based a film off of a song.
Literally though.
Literally.
Like, to the plot.
They got the words out of it, and
they were like, this will be a good plot for a movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Like some of the scenes. To be fair, actually, I think they're quite good scenes when they do it, where it's like they play lyrics of the song in the background, and then it just has the characters saying the same thing. So it's like, oh, we begged her not to go, and then Grandpa's just on his knees and he goes, please don't go, stuff like that. But anyway, yeah. So it's I probably need to explain a bit more of this than I did the Christmas Carol, because
I need to look at my notes.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I did.
No, I watched it in like 10 years, but I was like, I remember this being kind of good and kind of shit. So let's just watch it and see if it was funny. So it was. So anyway, yeah, it's based off that song. Grandma Got Run Over by
Jake Spankenheinen.
Oh yeah, they're called the Spankenheimers. That's the family in our in our story. The main family are called the Spankenheimers. They've even got a toy shop.
When googling these voice actors, surprisingly, they actually do quite a lot of voice acting, which was insane to me. Like,
it was like Wolverine or something.
I think one was like from X-Men. Like, Jesus, like.
How they fall from grace, you know.
Well, the X-Men animation was like really popular, wasn't it? Didn't it go on for like 20 years? Yeah.
Yeah, so we got Spankenheimer's toy shop. We got We got grandma, granddad, mum, dad, kid called Jake, I think it was, and cousin Mel is just in there. Cousin Mel looks like Daphne. Just she called grandma grandma. Grandma still calls her cousin Mel. Like everyone just calls her cousin Mel. Like, what's the relationship? I don't know. But anyway, yes, that's the family. So they have a toy shop. Big man, the man wants to get buy the toy shop because it's in the perfect place for some business stuff, like some slave business or something like that. But grandma won't sell it because it's her toy shop and it brings people happiness, and it's, you know, it's not built up like the rest of the city. It's just a nice little toy shop. So
Also, I will comment about the animation.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was just googling. This is what it reminded me of: the Jackie Chan Adventures. Do you remember this show?
Never heard of that.
Do you remember it?
Jackie Chan had an animated series. What?
But look at the faces, right?
It does look a bit like that, yeah.
Right? Come on, look, right?
And
And I was watching it. I was like, is it the same anime? I mean, it might be. I might need to do more research after the podcast.
Isn't it literally just naughty 2D animation with a low budget? Is that not literally what it is?
Yeah. I mean, I watched the Jackie Chan Adventures though when I was a child, but
just imagine some like TV animation that doesn't have a huge budget. A bit like maybe Avatar. I think Avatar's actually a bit better animated, isn't it? So I actually know Avatar's definitely better animated.
Avatar's apparently the greatest animation ever, isn't it?
Yeah, I won't compare it to that. But
I wouldn't.
Kind of dodgy. Yeah, I can't compare it to it. It's its own thing. Let's be honest. It's just unique. It's a real special piece of. It's its own animation. Anyway, yeah. So
it didn't premiere in a cinema.
So the man wants the shop. When I say the man, I mean, you know, like some rich guy who owns like everything.
Yeah,
so, I mean, the man in the metaphorical sense.
This is a children's film, by the way.
Yeah. So it did the Lego movie before the Lego movie. It's just.
But the Lego movie. Don't you dare! The Lego movie is brilliant.
Family values are more important than business. Really, it's what it comes down to. Let's be honest.
It doesn't have Will Ferrell in it.
The animation is way better. Oh yes, then. Oh yes, then we find out that Grandma bakes fruitcakes. And
is that a lyric in the song?
No, I don't think so. But with it being,
it must be. It's so integral to the plot. I'm going to Google the lyric.
With it being a film based off of a song, they decided to make it a musical, even though it's 50 minutes long. So now we have a country number called Grandma's Killer Fruitcake. So it's one guy who sings all the songs. The guy who's like, Grandma got run over by a reindeer, is also Grandma's Killer Fruitcake. He just sings all the songs. So we have Grandma's Killer Fruitcake out of nowhere. That just as a weird montage of people eating fruitcake. So Cousin Mel then decides, well, Cousin Mel likes money, let's be honest. Cousin Mel's a bit of a gold digger.
She looks like Daphne.
Yeah. So Cousin Mel / Daphne. Her grandma doesn't want to sell the toy shop. So she decides, oh well, I'll try and make. So she poisons the fruitcake. She thinks that because when
Cousin Mel's in the song.
Wait, what? She sings.
Yeah, no, in the song, like the lyric, drinking beer and playing cards with cousin.
Yeah, she is. Yeah. It's so weird.
I didn't know that.
No, I know, it's well strange. I don't know how they found a song that was so set up for like a storyline. But they managed it anyway. So the
fruitcake, I think you're right.
Yeah. Grandma's Killer Fruitcake, that's what it was called, I think.
Just keep carrying on. I was just curious.
So Cousin Mel poisons Grandma's fruitcake, which Grandma every year makes fruitcake and gives it out free to people because she's a lovely person. Grandma's just lovely. Grandma's just nice.
We're gonna be doing this for like 3 hours.
How
do you explain this?
Cousin Mel decides that she'll poison the fruitcake. People won't like Grandma because the fruitcake's bad, so they'll stop buying toys from her shop. which not only stupid, but also Cousin Mel explains all this while she's pouring in the poison. It's like, come on. So after that, Grandma leaves because she forgot her medication at the toy shop, and as she leaves with fruitcake and eggnog in hand,
Directly outside the house.
yeah,
Not like
right
20
outside,
down.
literally on the front garden, Santa comes out, madman, just going all about the place, slams straight through Grandma, knocks her face first into the ground, and Grandma's just there, laid on the floor, motionless. And the kid just saw this through the window. So he's literally just seen his grandma get mowed down, and she's literally just died. Like, she's just there, just on the floor, not moving. It's like, we weren't actually sure if she were dead, were we? We
No,
weren't
we
sure.
were saying though. I said to you at this point, I was like, who would play these characters in live action?
Yeah.
So you'd have like, Judi Dench. No, you said Charlize Theron, didn't you?
Yeah, because we
It's
already
like,
joked.
Grandma,
All the
animation's sexy as
all
fuck.
the old
Like,
people, for some reason in this film, are animated really like like that. Yeah. So we were like, oh yeah, with the hair dyed grey or something. Some really, like,
the anti Mel would be played by Scarlett Johansson. The little kid would be played by like Timothy Chalamet. He's popular, right? I mean, he's a bit old, but fuck
yeah.
it.
Oh,
But then Nicolas Cage would play
Santa, probably the madman who grandma. Anyway, yeah. So grandma's just like completely gone. So the kid's trying to tell his parents that grandma just got floored by Santa. He's trying to pull him out, and they're just like, "Come on, Santa ain't real. Stop messing about." They're trying to grab him, and then Grandpa just strolls in, just like, "Yeah, I saw it." And he's just like, "Wait, so you just saw your wife get knocked down by Santa, not move, and you just don't care? You're not even going outside to check?" So they just have like a little talk, and then they go outside, and Grandma's gone. Who saw that coming? Grandma has gone. She was unconscious on the floor, and now she's gone. So they call the police in the morning. Literally in the police handbook, it says there's no such thing as Santa, which I think is a bit of a dick move. But oh yeah, there's the policewoman from Fargo as well. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah.
who's gonna get that reference?
No.
Who the fuck is gonna? This is a children's movie.
The policewoman's literally like Frances McDormand from Fargo. It's literally her. And she's just there going, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's that kind of accent.
That's like German.
Oh yeah, you thought you saw Santa, did ya? I can't do it. I really can't do it.
Yeah,
but it's literally her. It's literally the same policewoman. Anyway, yeah. So they oh yeah. So then it just shows a calendar, and it skips to September. Just like that. It's gone from December to September, and Grandma's still missing. They've got her milk cartons. They've got a poster plastered on walls, and she hasn't turned up in 9 months.
In total, it wasn't 9 months yet. It wasn't 9 months yet. It would have been 9 months.
It went to September. The calendar in the end went to September.
Is it only September? No, I mean because there's another month that passes when they abduct her again.
Is there? All right. So it's probably next Christmas, then, I guess.
Isn't it like 9 months in total or something?
But it's almost a year that Grandma's been missing. Literally, that was it. I saw in the after credits when they showed little clips from the film, and one of them, I didn't even notice this before, but one of them, they're in black suits. They must have gone to Grandma's funeral. They thought Grandma died.
I just read that, all dressed in black. It's
yeah,
in the song.
exactly. Yeah. They literally thought Grandma had been killed by, like, oh my god, they've all just missing Grandma for a year. Anyway,
I'm going to speed you up with this summary because I think we're only
Grandpa,
halfway through.
Grandpa's accepted it. Grandpa just doesn't care for some reason. He's just like willy-nilly walking about all happy. So he goes on a dinner date with who's trying to get him to give the right.
I don't know why he goes on a date with the auntie.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a bit weird. But yeah. So he long story short, Grandpa hands over the rights to the shop to Cousin Mel. Or the right of attorney or something, so that she can start the process of selling the shop and getting all the big money.
It's actually so difficult to do this fast, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just so much that it's just so. Honestly, the film, weren't it? It was like scene after scene. Like every scene was about 15
I don't
seconds.
remember half
and
of
it just kept coming. It just kept coming. It was just like a conveyor belt of random scenes. You can't remember half of them. it just never stopped. I felt like something was going, like my brain was frazzled, like just from so much stuff going on. Which makes sense for a 50-minute film. They must have just crammed it all in really short. But anyway, yeah. So so it turns out we cut to the North Pole because the kid has emailed Santa because it's that easy. And Grandma's actually asleep at the North Pole because when she got knocked out, she had amnesia, so she forgot who she was and where she lived. So she's been living at the North Pole, being looked after by Santa for a year.
I have a comment on this before we move on. Like, her amnesia throughout this shot is not amnesia. It's genuine Alzheimer's or like dementia. Like, she forgets every 5 minutes where she is, what's happened in the past 10 minutes. Amnesia, you forget a certain point, don't you? And then it's like back. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, this is just what I know, like, what in my head. Like, it might be wrong, but what the fuck? Like, it's genuine. Like, it's genuinely.
Well,
like,
I mean, both the grandparents
like,
are,
an
aren't they?
Alzheimer's, like a family dealing with like Alzheimer's or dementia.
Like the grandpa must be senile because he doesn't know about what's going on. He just gives
He's
the
on
right
his way too. He's got it.
Yeah. His grandma, his wife just got killed, and he's just waltzing around happy as old.
He's going out with the auntie.
And then not only that, but so grandma's been there for a year. Santa knocked her over in a front garden. He never thought in a full year, even though she has Alzheimer's or whatever, he never thought to go knock on the door that she was knocked over in and be like, "Do you know this woman?" So he's literally abducted an Alzheimer's patient for a year.
He probably like dragged her down the street to a lake or something. Like, started like to chop her leg off, like sawed partway through her leg, and then was like, she woke up and he's like, "Oh fuck!" He doesn't know what to do. The guilt. He's like telling the elf to like cover her face with something, you know. Like...
So we get
Patrick Stewart as the elf. Anyway.
Patrick Stewart's not actually the elf. We just want him to be.
Because he reminded me so much.
So Grandma comes back, or at least she gets delivered to the front door of the big businessman they're trying to sell the company to. So he's like, if I see Grandma, then I won't buy the business.
You skipped like 20 minutes.
Because Grandma owns the shop, I can't do it without her consent. Yeah. So Grandma gets kidnapped again by cousin Mel and put in a shack. And then so they keep Grandma kidnapped in a shack with
best song
Mel's lawyer. And then they realise that they can sue Santa for kidnapping Grandma.
So Grandma that she's in Hawaii as well. Yeah.
So they start singing a song where it literally just cuts from them being in a shack to them in hula. And they just, well, I forgot how it goes again. It's like Grandpa's gonna sue off the pants off Santa. That's what Grandpa's gonna do, or something like that. And they're just there in Hawaii dresses. And it's just the weirdest thing. It came out of nowhere, and we were laughing our heads off.
Through the pants off Grandma.
Yeah. So they're just singing a classic Hawaiian song about suing Santa. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, to try Grandma down, he gives her some of her fruitcake. The smell is like smelling salt, and she remembers everything because she smelled her own fruitcake. I don't know. Then they go to the courthouse where Santa's getting done for kidnapping Grandma. Then they give the fruitcake is just like a god. The fruitcake is just like holy in this. It revitalizes Grandma. They then take it to the courthouse and they give it to the jury to compare it with.
I'm genuinely surprised that is not in the song. I am genuinely surprised that is not in the song. Because like it's so random.
Yeah. And so they use the fruitcake to prove that Santa's innocent as well. And then it turns out that the poison that cousin Mel used was reindeer nip. Classic. Because which is why the sleigh veered off course and hit Grandma.
I don't know where she got that from.
And then it's like, well, we can still get Santa done for sleigh-killer negligence. It's like, oh my god, what is going on? Like, there's just so much random stuff that's happened at the end, and then they're all happy. And
the lawyer sounds like Ted from Jingle All The Way, which is coming up next.
Yeah, it just went so fast and so quick, and yeah, for a kids film, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. It was funny.
I don't think I could watch it again.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd need to now.
But watching
funny.
it the first time with you was it was fucking hilarious. Because I almost fell asleep when we were watching Muppets because I was that knackered from work. And then
this is like-
we watched that, and I was like, boom,
Yeah.
I'm back. You know, like
Oh, yeah.
this is weird as fuck. Like,
leaves the courthouse. Grandma opens the reindeer knit fruitcake up, and she gets mowed down again. She gets killed by.
and we were saying it should have just cut to black.
Yeah,
Because that
yeah,
would have
that's
been
it. Yeah, that's funny. So, I did actually really enjoy this film. It was, it's nothing
Great.
classic, but it's
Is
one of
it
those.
better than I Stage 2?
Nah, no.
Nothing is. Nothing.
No, Ice Age 2 is the greatest film of all time. I'm telling you.
Until we review your favorite movie.
Favorite films, yeah.
I was about to reveal it then. I was about to say until we review your favorite.
But yeah, no, it was really funny. We had a good laugh in this one, didn't we? It was some funny stuff.
It was honestly, it was everything I needed this year.
It wasn't good, but it was just a bit stupidly fun.
So, for example, you're watching a Muppets Christmas Carol, you get depressed because Scrooge is
you feel so sad for this guy.
You get uplifted by the
Grandma
Christmas
hugged you.
spirit.
Grandma is the hug that you needed. So I think I would probably give this a 7 actually. Put this above Muppets Christmas Carol because I just really enjoyed it. It was just so funny. Oh, okay.
Think about this, right? 2 guys probably animated this in a basement.
But they put in just random jokes. They just put in random places. I had to skip quite a bit just to kind of get through it.
I mean, the skill of making 51 minutes out of that song.
They can't have had much time. They can't have had a big time one. So I think they did all right.
I'd probably say
I'd give it a 6 actually. I think. So it's on par with Muppets Christmas Carol.
Okay, I'm glad you changed the rating before I did mine. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to readjust to something. I'd probably give it a 3. It was bad. It was fun though. This is a 3, and it earns those 3 points.
Well, what did you give? Ice Age 5 or whatever it was, or 4, the one that we were really bored in.
I think it was a 1, wasn't it, or a 2?
Oh, was it? Okay, fair enough then.
I think I rated that really badly.
I feel like I gave that a 4 or something like that. So I feel like this is a nice 6. It's good. It's nothing special, but it was.
At least it's not more than Muppets.
It's just good.
I didn't expect you to give it a 10 though, in you.
Yeah. And also, it's when I watched the kids, so it has bonuses, doesn't it? And then it's got, me, I love a good song. It's just a banger. Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
She had eggnog and she had footprints on her head.
She had footprint marks. Oh man.
Okay.
Funny.
So we are going to do the next film is Jingle All The Way. We will see you promptly for the final film of the Christmas special and my favourite Christmas film ever. Turbo Man.
Brilliant.
Yeah, you see? Right, okay. So we're doing Jingle All The Way, our final movie. And this is my favourite Christmas film ever. And I don't know why, but it is. It really is. I watch it every year religiously. Followed closely by Christmas Vacation, which is actually legitimately good. So how do we start with this?
Not my favourite Christmas film because I've never watched it before yesterday when we actually watched it. Yeah.
Okay,
now it's my favourite Christmas film.
You want me to do the summary on this one then? I'll do the summary. Okay. Initial impressions. What did you think?
I did. I think that's the thing with Christmas films. You definitely enjoy all of them way more if you watch them first as a kid, and you get all the nostalgia and stuff in it. And I feel like a lot of Christmas films are on a similar level, and it just depends which ones were your family's chosen Christmas films. So I did enjoy this. I do think it's a good Christmas film. There's a lot of people say that it's pretty shy, but I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty funny. I think it's a good choice. I was happy you chose that, and I'm definitely glad I watched it. It was just quite funny, and obviously it's stuff in it. It's never going to be Shakespeare or anything, but it is just funny watching Arnie do anything that's kind of silly. So
I think it was written by the same people who wrote Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
Maybe, yeah, with a slightly bigger budget.
This movie stars Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad.
Sinbad.
Who I still don't know who Sinbad is. What was he in?
He's a little version of Samuel L. Jackson. That's what he is. All he does wish that he could curse, but he can't because it's a kid's film.
And also, what we will say before we start this, because that's mainly what I wrote down. We watched the unedited versions.
Oh yeah, we did, didn't we? Yeah.
We watched a version that I've never seen, and I've watched this movie 20 times. Here we go. So we open. I might be able to just do this from memory, to be honest with you. But yeah, no, we open with Jake Lloyd, I believe his name is, isn't it? The kid, Jake Lloyd.
Anakin. Oh, Dad, no! How could you not be here? Oh no, I hate you. That's his level. And then he got cast in Star Wars.
We open with Jake Lloyd, and he is watching Turbo Man, this TV show, which they do a soundtrack for, which I think is brilliant. It's actually good. Whoever did that score, you could have put that in a Marvel film. It's brilliant. They do that, and it's like Power Rangers, basically, isn't it? It's like Turbo Man, and the bad guys look like mini Power Rangers with big heads. And then the bad guys, what was he called? Brain something. I still don't remember myself. I've seen this a million times. And then it cuts back, and it's Jake Lloyd running around the thing, terrible. But I feel sorry for him. He's a child actor. They don't know this could ruin their entire lives because so cut to that, and then we cut to the mum, and the mum's saying well, he's when's Dad gonna be home? And he's oh, he's just running late or something at work because he's about to do a karate tournament, is it?
Oh yeah, he does a karate thing, yeah, where they literally just have to break up. All they have to do, they go, whoop, break a wooden block, and then they've won the belt, and everyone's like, oh my god, what a belter! They're all cheering him. It's like I don't know, they just killed the devil or something, they've just done some incredible task. Brock. Block of wood.
So it cuts to Arnold, and he's on the phone, and he's going "You're my number one customer." Yeah. You're my number one customer.
You're my number one customer.
Arnold, you are my number one customer. And then his wife rings up, and she's like, "Hey, honey, when are you gonna be home? You can't miss his karate tournament again." And he's like, You're my number one customer. And she's like, what the fuck? Yeah. And he's like, I'm sorry. And then she hangs up. And then, I mean, we both would have ended up with Ted. We love Ted. We'll see in a minute who Ted is. So then he drives home at about 1,000,000 miles an hour to try to get to this karate tournament, and he misses it. And I'm not talking misses it by 5 minutes. I'm talking the entire place is shut. The janitor's in there. So, and then he goes home, and the kid's sulking, and he's like, I saw you green belt or something, and the kid's like, yeah, but you didn't see blue. I don't know what this means because I don't do karate, but you know what I mean. And he basically, then Arnold does the weirdest thing, doesn't he, in the world? He ties a belt round his head, and he's like, like that. And we were both I've seen this. I was watching Brad's reaction. Brad's like.
So confused. He just, I don't know, he just doesn't seem like the kind of person who'd do that. He's just so huge.
No, all of this, everything he says in this, because he says kosher at one point, and in Arnold's accent, that's so weird.
That.
So he's there and he's doing weird shit, and he's like, "What do you want for Christmas?" And the kid's like, "I want a Turbo Man doll. It does this, and this, and it's got action features." And then he goes to bed, doesn't he, with his wife straight after that, and he's made up with his son for the time being. And the son's a brilliant drawer because the son's drawn.
Not really
Yeah, we were saying it's like Jacqueline Wilson.
Like an 8-year-old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 8-year-old. Like, Jesus Christ, you should see
Oh,
my drawings now. And then it cuts to that, and he's with his wife. And his wife's like, "Oh, you picked up the Turbo Man, didn't you? Weeks
yeah.
ago, I asked you to."
And then they do one of
Like,
my favorite shot where he just zooms in on
zoom,
Arnie's face.
face,
Everything goes dark
like,
around him, and he's just like, "What?"
just twice in
That's
the
how I
same
feel
scene.
it, yeah.
He does it
Oh,
across the room.
yeah. So we got as well when he got home though. We had our only the greatest man on earth on the roof.
Oh yeah,
Ted, Ted, Ted's the greatest. Arnie comes home because he's been working, and Ted's up there putting lights on his roof. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Well, I noticed you didn't have any Christmas decorations up." And he's like, "I thought I'd help out." Ted's only gone and done because he didn't have Christmas decorations. He had spare. He's gonna put up the Christmas decorations for him because he's such a nice guy. He's just he's so considerate. He's just so considerate. He just cares.
At the karate tournament, he's like,
Oh, he's
like
at the karate tournament, isn't he?
the women are like chatting him up, like, "You're
Yeah.
gonna come round again and like tend to my pipes," and he's like, "I'll be around." Yeah, "I'll be around later," and then he like turns and she's there like, and he's like,
He cares about his son. He's got his son a Turbo Man already. He got it like 2 months ago. He said he was ready like ages earlier. Ted's just the greatest guy. Ted is brilliant.
he's like, "Every time I'm here, I like to be nice to myself."
So I'm glad Ted was in the film. Anyway,
But
yeah,
we see throughout the film that Ted isn't all he seems to be.
I don't know.
We'll get to that.
Oh, I disagree. I love Ted.
You went into
would
Ted to
marry
your
Ted.
pipe.
Right,
So what was that? So we do that, and he's got Tim, so he runs out the next morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we get the best montage ever. Well, first we get the first initial store thing.
Oh,
So
yeah,
he goes to the store and he meets Sinbad
Yeah.
outside. He's like throttling a lady. I can't remember why he does it. He's like, yeah, he's like, "And you work all year and you do this, and then somebody doesn't do it." And he's like throttling an actual lady. But all these people, because this is why I also love this film, and Brad's gonna be like, this is why I like Starship Troopers as well. Like it's got subtext, because like he like throttles this like lady, right? And all the people, I don't know if this is actual subtext, but it happens so frequently that it might just be bad direction, but it happens so frequently. These people are so focused on getting a Turbo Man. No one helps this poor lady. He's throttling this lady, and they're like, "Oh, like trying to still get in," kind of thing, right? Everyone's like, throughout the movie, they fall over each other. Everyone's so focused. It's like I think it was made for children, but I think it is an adult Christmas film. It's what a parent goes through every year for their child.
I feel like Starship Troopers was a bit deeper.
No, I'll get to this is all like about commercialism.
Although
I think.
I did notice
like,
some of those.
Because like the booster and stuff, we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, boosters like a microcosm for like that sort of like like character that no one likes, like Aquaman, or although everyone loves Aquaman
He does now, yeah. But what we used to
yeah, like Hawkeye, that sort of thing, that sort of people that no one buys, or I'm gonna get hate probably. Ray from Star Wars. I only say this right because I had a mate right that worked in Toys R Us back in the day, right before it shut.
Peace, brother.
And literally, he said when it was shutting, there was about 1 million Ray figures and 1 million Rose figures. From Last Jedi. No one bought them.
So these people who only care about Turbo Man, they're the reason Toys R Us shut. They're to blame for Toys R Us. All these people who only want Skywalker,
figures make Toys R Us and stuff. Yeah.
Iron Man, all these people over in corner, Hawkeye. It's their fault. I blame them.
I'm going to right. Anyway, so he goes to the store, meets Sinbad. Sinbad's a bit of a psycho. He's a mailman, because that all comes into it later.
Go and ask that guy, don't they, about if you have any Turbo Man in stock.
Then do your impression. And then he asks the guy behind him, and the guy's like,
and they just start laughing, and then Arnie, being Arnie, just like grabs him and he's like,
where is your Christmas spirit?
Take me to the Turbo Man.
It's so funny because it's called like Turbo Man. He's like Turbo Man. He can hardly say it. They should have chose something he could say.
yes, there's one woman who leaves with a Turbo Man in it. So he follows her out the shop like a stalker. Anyway, he catches up to this. They said it was a woman in a fur coat. So he chases this woman in a fur coat outside, and he buys this.
Delete scene number 1.
Was it deleted? All right.
The first coat lady.
All right. I realised as well. I looked it up afterwards. The woman is Lisa Simpson's voice actor. I knew I recognised her. Yeah. So
I might be wrong that it's a deleted scene, but I'm pretty sure, at least in my version, whether that's like pirated, like DVD.
Yeah. Woman's trying to flirt with Arnie, and the anyway, yeah. So Arnie buys this. Turns out that it's the wrong toy. It's this weird pink bear thing. this other guy out of the Turbo Man series, which he didn't want. So then there's the monster about in it where well, go on.
He runs after the other car, doesn't he? He runs after the other lady that was meant to go after. So he buys Booster, who I've just explained is like the Aquaman kind of thing, for like something like $300, like something ridiculous. But then he realizes it's the other woman and she's driving away, and he like chases after like a mad 6'5" man. Like she just like accelerates away. So then it cuts to the montage of all the shops, and it's like overlaying this kind of shit over like people's faces.
Well, yeah, like that of Turbo Man not being there. And then the greatest thing as well, I made a note. The clock. Oh my god, the clock. Oh,
the day winding down.
Oh man, you know in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where they do that famous scene with the lamp where it swings, and everyone's like, oh my god, they didn't have to swing the lamp, but all the shadows, the fighting is really cool. It just took me. I don't think it's nowhere near that level of cleverness.
I think it's better.
It's literally just the clock counting down, showing that he didn't have much time into the wheel of his car. And we're just like, oh my god!
I think what makes it so good is the way that they match that is they accelerate the clock so much that it looks like the hand is the wheel.
Oh, that's my one takeaway from this film. I just loved that transition into the wheel. Oh, Peng.
I honestly think the direction and like editing of this movie is actually quite good. And I know you like. I mean. The script's insane. That's the problem.
Yeah. It's
anyway.
80s, isn't it?
So you have the montage. Oh God, where does it go from here? I can't
remember. He goes to the raffle because they find out that this guy runs past him saying that a store's got a late stock of Turbo Men. So they run to this shop where like a million other people turned up as well, and they're like, to give out the fair share, we're going to do this raffle, so everyone gets a bouncy ball. So they're trying to give them out, but obviously Americans being Americans, they're like pushing each other out of the way and fighting and knocking out each other, and they're getting murdered on the floor in this shop, and just to get these little rubber balls with a number on. So the shop guys are just like, fuck it. So they throw the balls up into the air. So there's just like a slow motion shot of Arnie trying to grab like a lottery ball.
The most wonderful time of the year.
And I was just thinking, Arnie's got such huge hands. Compared to all these tiny people around it, he could have grabbed like 5 straight away in one fistful and just ran off.
For example, to give you example, viewers, this is the size of a normal hand compared to Arnie's hand.
Yeah, exactly. He could have easily got loads of them, but he doesn't. They start fighting and having a tussle and stuff. And then one of these balls, so he grabs one, and then Sinbad comes along and knocks it out of his hand, and then it starts the bouncing scene. So it bounces out of the shop. It bounces down the escalators. Does it bounce anywhere else?
It bounces all around the shop, like it goes like miles away. This ball does not stop bouncing. This is like a sentient ball.
I find it quite funny.
But he like jumps off the edge of the escalator with like a piano and all sorts. You're like,
and then it bounces off the side of like a balcony and onto this kid's lap who's like by this playground. And I was just picturing, after Arnie'd been charging after it, I was just picturing the balcony, pile driving this kid, just being like, I got it.
I got the ball.
I got the ball.
We both mentioned this. Like, it's a good. I actually think this scene's good as well, right? And minus the sentient ball, but even that's funny. But we thought to ourselves, why the fuck is he obsessed by this ball? If he doesn't get the ball, it's fine because he's got a chance
Yeah,
He's
it's
got
only a
one
chance of
of
getting
like
one.
7 million balls.
Yeah, there's loads of balls. There was loads of balls there, and it's only a chance of getting one anyway. So what does it matter if he gets this one ball compared to like the hundreds that must have been in that shop? Anyway, he goes after this kid. He like dies in a ball pit or something trying to get him, and then all the mums think he's a pedo. Their handbags out and the beating
No, he's
on
like he goes go this, doesn't he? First, oh, I wish I had a ball. What can I do? I'll do my Tesco badge. Yeah. Hopefully I can do that. I'll probably get fired now. Hello, little girl. I've got a ball for you. Can't be afraid. It's a big red ball, or whatever he does. And, he goes like, and then she's like, and she puts it in her mouth, like, and yeah, and he grabs her face.
Grab it out of her mouth. I forgot that. Yeah.
Like, and his hand's so big, like
the size
cuts
of
her
her
face.
head. Like, you can just squeeze her like a prude or something. Like, it's so
Not
funny.
only that, when he chases after, he goes through the climbing frame and he goes down into the ball pit through a children's slide. Arnold Schwarzenegger. This isn't like old Arnold. This is peak like Terminator 2 Arnold. Like,
the beating on him, and he decides to leave, and he's like, "Wait, no, I'm not. I am not a child molester.
I just want the Turbo Man doll," or whatever he says. I just want. No, I think he goes, "I just want Turbo Doll." Like he misses, because I said he misses like half the line out, and then a Santa comes up to him.
Oh yeah, that's it. He goes up to the Santa in the store, and he's like, I heard you, Turbo Doll.
You do like a Boston accent.
Yeah. Oh, I can't do a Boston accent.
I can't either. I don't think.
Never mind. We'll miss that. But
oh man.
They go to when I say workshop, I mean like a factory rather than Santa's actual workshop. And there's loads of Santas working, making like what's the word?
Knockoff
Goods, yeah. So
yeah, that's very English, but
anyway, yeah. So he tries. Well, that's it. Yeah. Oh yeah, we had an extended scene where there was a Santa choir and they were singing, and they all started singing together, and it was just so random.
Honestly, I think all the extended scenes like added to the film. But we saw where they were edited, didn't we? Because you had a scene and then it cut to a completely different shot.
Yeah, like they were all singing and hugging each other, and then it just cut to them all working again, and you could tell where it was like changed. But he gets this doll that they said that they had, and it was actually a Spanish one or something. Oh yes, then he gets a bit handy because he's Arnie. Start having a fight. Of course, none. Oh yeah, so we've
big
got
guy that's tall.
It's like a game. There's like different stages of Santa. They've got Elf, then they've got the Santa that he came with. Then they got Ninja Santa with the nunchucks, like candy cane nunchucks. And then huge Santa comes out it takes his top off. He's like twice the size of Arnie. I just can't believe that he's that.
I mean, you won't know who it is because I don't think you watched wrestling, but I did when I was a kid. It was our wrestlers that we were in when we were kids. Big Show, I think he's called. I googled it after last night.
It's called Big Show.
He was huge. Big Show. Yeah, but he's like he's as famous as like the Undertaker. You know the Undertaker, don't you? Like he's a really famous, and Rey Mysterio or whatever. Like he's the same. So he's the guy with the mariachi mask thing.
Oh right.
Which is like famous now because it's like in. Well, it was famous before, but it was made big again for like wrestlers and stuff. So he had like he was one of the most famous wrestlers. I've never known that until you went. How's that guy bigger than us? Like, I wonder, is he a giant?
He must be famous because anyone that big must be famous. Yeah. Like, oh man, how do you get that big compared to Arnie? Anyway, yeah, he was a big lad.
And then Vern Troyer's in it in like a minor role.
Oh yeah, he literally just gets thrown against the wall, doesn't he?
He goes,
yeah. Then the cops bust in because they're making knockoff goods. Arrest them all.
You waste Vern Troyer, to be fair. They use the elf from Bad Santa, don't they? Instead.
It is way better, isn't it?
Not, but
yeah.
Vern
Troyer would be better.
Yeah, but Vern Troyer, I think Vern Troyer is I love Vern Troyer in Austin Powers. He's a better comedic actor than the guy. But yeah. So then we have all that, and the police come in.
Saves him. He picks up a knockoff FBI badge as like
A
this
plastic badge.
Plastic one.
Quite obviously.
Not an actual badge, but they believe it. He gets out. He goes to some cafe, and what a surprise! Sinbad's there as well, feeling sad.
And then also, like, there's no one else there. There is no one else. This is Christmas Eve. It would be packed.
Yeah.
A cafe like that would be rammed. Yeah. No, his car breaks down. That's what happens. That's how he gets to the cafe.
Oh, no, that's later in. Oh wait, is that it? Oh yeah.
His car breaks down and he pushes it. He breaks down on the bridge, and then we thought he was going to like. Well, I've seen it a million times, but Bradley was like, "Is he going to chuck himself off the bridge or something?" Because like his day went so badly. And then like it cuts to him pushing the car. Then it cuts. He's in the middle of the city. We're like,
yeah. Well, I mean, it's Arnie in it. He's got some upper body strength.
So
on it.
Sinbad and Arnie are having a conversation. Sinbad comes into the place. He's already there, I think, actually, and they have a conversation. And he talks about his Tommy gun. What was it called? The Johnny 5.
Yeah, the kid, he wanted a toy as well, and it's like,
the Johnny 3 guns in one or whatever it is. And this is another extended scene because normally he just goes, "It's this," and my dad didn't get it with me. But like,
he spends like 2 minutes. Yeah, it's got a missile launcher. Pew! It's got a grappling hook. It's got a gun. Pew, 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 pew. Karate chop. Oh yeah, another just random scene that they like completely random. But they hear on the radio that this radio DJ's got if they answer the question of name all the reindeer, they get a Turbo Man. So they run down. Oh yeah, so they try. He
tries to ring.
Arnie tries to ring. Sinbad's like not having that, so he rips out the cord of the phone. So they both charge.
I think it's like strangling him. Like, actually going to kill
proper
Sinbad.
fighting, yeah. Like they're getting proper violent. These
the
two,
road.
Yeah. He runs to this radio DJ. They threaten him. He's like, "Oh, I've read it out." And then the radio DJ is pretty much like, "Oh, I've got a voucher. I don't actually have a Turbo Man. I've got a voucher so you can get it in like a month or something when they're back in stock." And they're just like, that's my impression of Arnie being angry. No.
But it's when he's running, he's like, "Donna Pranta Vixen," and all this.
Yeah.
He goes in and he breaks the fucking door. And I honestly, I've watched this a million times, and I don't think that was intentional. Because he breaks that door down, and then it smashes, and he goes like this, and then he carries on. And I think, honest to God, that window just went like that, and he was like, "Oh fuck, I'll just carry on with it."
But then the DJ, because he's been threatened, he calls the police. So
it tells him it's just a voucher.
Yeah. So he calls the police anyway. Barged in and threatened him and smashed his door and stuff. So they try and escape, but then the police all come and they meet him in the lobby. And then Sinbad gives them. He pulls out a present. I don't even understand this. He's like, it's like, what? Why has he got? So anyway, he pulls out this present, this wrap present, and he's like, "Oh, it's a bomb." So all the police are like, "Oh god!" So he's like, "Put your guns down," and then he puts the bomb down and they run away. But like, why would you just have? Oh yes, the Joe was before. He said that, and it wasn't actually.
It was just a music box.
Yeah. And now he puts it down, so they run away. The policeman picks it up and shakes it. And he's like, "It's not a bomb." So he opens it up, and then it blows up.
Yeah, but it cuts to Arnold outside.
As they're walking away, they're outside, and you just see like the top of the building just.
And honest to God, right, that is such a good, like, a really good, well set up joke. Like, honestly, right? If that was it, we were saying.
Yeah, exactly. I really wish that had just ended there.
If that was just it, that would have been like Jesus. Like, if a lot of these scenes were cut short, then that would be brilliant.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then he goes on the phone, doesn't he? And he rings home next after this.
Yeah. How does he have a bomb in a present anyway? What's the whole thing with that?
Yeah. Actually, we'll discuss this before, but I'm remember that because otherwise I forget what the hell we are. So yeah, no, a bomb in a present. I think at that time, wasn't there like some sort of thing with that, like post bombs? Wasn't it some sort of comment on society? I mean,
I don't know.
No, genuinely, because
I know there was post bombs, but I don't think people had them wrapped up in wrapping paper in the back pocket.
I'm not saying it's the most intelligent movie in the world. I'm saying like this film had a lot of like weird shit in it that was like for adults more than kids. Like a bomb in a post thing, the kids are gonna be like, But yeah, no, I don't know how he got into that, and I don't know how he knew that he had a bomb that he was carrying around that entire time.
Yeah, he just had the bomb in all these fights and these, in the shops and stuff. He just had a bomb.
Yeah, you know that scene where it's like and they're all piling on top of Sinbad.
Yeah.
What if it was like
yeah.
limbs everywhere?
Well, I mean, it wouldn't matter much, would it? Because we cut back to the police.
Arnold picks up all the balls.
Yeah. It worked perfectly. Just back to the police, and the rest of the policemen are fine, so it clearly wasn't that bad.
Or like, hey little girl, you want postal package? So anyway, he rings home, and when he rings home, Ted answers because he's making cookies with his wife.
Oh, sorry, I've just realised the note I had as well. There was that at the start of that scene when they go into the come out. So Arnie's at the back.
You actually love this film
Sorry.
deep down. I can tell.
There was loads of when you just triggered me as well with that. Actually, I just realised that. So where Sinbad goes into the lobby, and then all these policemen come out of the lift and point guns at Sinbad, and Arnie's at the back, so he tries to skip away, but then this one policeman gets him.
Not for kids. I think
Yeah.
a lot of this script. I think this script was written by like a 50-year-old bloke. If we googled it, I bet you it would be. Because I find it funny, and I've liked it more. The more that I've got older, that's why it's turned into my favorite Christmas film. And it's really weird. When I was a kid, I was a bit like, it's all right. Now I'm like, this is the bee's knees. Anyway, so he rings.
Yeah.
And Ted picks up because he's making cookies with his wife, who is Tom Hanks's wife, which is weird.
Ted, just such a beautiful person. Whilst the husband's away, he decides to come in, help look after the kids. He's helping the wife with baking. What a nice guy.
He's like when he's like taking the apron off the wife before the phone rings, because we have a bit of a scene. He's like going like this. He like hugs. This is a great performance by this actor, though. I swear he's from The Simpsons. I swear he does voices in The Simpsons. But he puts his hands around the wife and he's like,
yeah,
like this and all that. And he's like Ted, right? He's funny and it's a great performance, but he's a sexual predator. You won't be able to get away with that nowadays. Ted is genuinely.
I don't know. I think he's a nice guy. Nice. He just cares. He just, wants everyone to feel happy at Christmas. He's just looking after everyone, Her husband's away. He's just taking care of her. It's fine. Cares.
We have that, and Arnold rings, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just having you." Well, he answers the phone first, Ted. And he's like, oh, like he's like having sex or something.
Yeah, with the cookie. Trying to make him jealous.
Yeah. He's like, these cookies, and Arnold's like, stop eating my cookies. And like they have a conversation. He's like, tell her I will be late. I am looking for Turbo Man or whatever it is. Yeah. And Ted's like, yeah, no, I will. And then he eats another cookie. He's like, these cookies, and all this. And I was like, put that cookie down, and all this. Honestly, I think that scene itself is brilliant as well. Yeah.
Just the people on the phones next to him just staring at him because he's just like, put that cookie down.
And Arnold in this isn't like, honest to God, I think he got the script, he didn't know what to do because he's so weird. He's the weirdest human being in this movie. His expressions are like, oh my, all this shit. And you're like, whoa. Yeah. Anyway, what happens after that?
Now we go back home and he goes to Ted's house.
Yes.
Because he's like, he gets Turbo Man.
He gets towed because his his car gets like spray painted. This is also an extra scene. He has like he's like practicing what he's going to say to his wife or whatever it is, and that's an extra scene. Anyway, you were saying?
Oh yes, we go back to Ted's house. So when I was saying before, Ted bought his son a Turbo Man 2 months early because Ted's just a great guy and he cares about the people
around sexual
him.
Deviant.
Yeah. Well, tit for tat.
Yeah, like. So what? Schmaltz. Bradley's saying that Schmaltz condones sexual assault.
Yeah, don't quote me on that.
The exact quote is Brad condones sexual assault.
So we go back to Ted's house. He's got a Turbo Man. Arnie's like, oh, I'll just nick Ted's. How does it all play out? There's a reindeer. There's a fire. How it actually plays out. Oh yeah, so anyway, do you even remember what happens? Like, someone sets on fire, and then the reindeer gets loose, Yeah, we go to Ted's house, and Arnie's there, and so Ted's got his son, the Turbo Man, 2 months early because Ted's just an all-round great person, just a gem of a human. And Arnie decides because he doesn't care about anyone that he'll just go and steal this other child's Turbo Man before Christmas.
That kid's a fat kid, you know. Like you got to do what you got to do.
He needs less. Is he like Dudley out of Harry Potter or something? Like he needs to learn moderation.
If you Google Dudley nowadays, Dudley's hot. Like he's a really attractive man. Like he's ripped.
Wasn't he in that religious thing that just came out on Netflix?
Dudley, I'm thinking of the other one, Neville.
Neville, yeah, no, Dudley's gone the other way.
I'm so sorry, but you know, things happen.
Yeah,
Genes.
Life. We get to this guy's house anyway. What actually happens is like a fire and a reindeer gets loose or something, whilst Arnie's trying to steal the present from Ted.
Right, so he breaks into the house through the back door, and he goes under the tree, takes the present. He's got away with it. He goes back out. He's like, I can't take kid's present, or he says like Johnny's present, or whatever the fucking kid's called.
Yeah.
And then he turns around, he goes back in, and he goes put it back under the tree. And as he does so, he like knocks something over, then it sets on fire. I can't remember what it was. No, he goes back in and the reindeer's there, and it's like.
Oh, just in the house, yeah. Just like, another reindeer, by the way.
Right. That's the best reindeer impression. It's like, and then Arnie's like, and he like runs, but actually they get a fucking reindeer to chase Arnold, don't they?
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, like that could actually hurt him. Like,
yeah. The house is on fire though. Arnie traps this reindeer in the back room.
Yeah, he traps the reindeer in the back room, but before that, it's knocked over the wise man or whatever it is.
Oh, is that it? Yeah. They break that.
And it sets on fire, like the head. And Arnie's like trying to put this out, and everything's on fire.
A bit of animal cruelty, that, innit? I wouldn't lock an animal in the back room when the house is on fire.
We're saying, where is Ted?
Oh yeah, we didn't even know where the kid was as well. We know Ted's over at the other house. We didn't know where the kid was. What if Arnie, in all this hysteria or whatever, the kid was in this back room as well? Arnie just ran in, locked the reindeer in. He's locked this kid in with like a rabid reindeer, and he set the house on fire. This kid's just stuck in this room with a reindeer. He can't get out because this reindeer is like running around crazy. And then the house burns down around it.
About is that Turbo Man, you know? That's all you want.
It's another case of the villain isn't the villain, in my eyes. Like we had Scrooge was a great guy. Now we have Ted is a great guy, and Arnie actually just doesn't care.
I honestly I can't agree that Ted's a great guy. I can't do it as much as I want to. So then he kicks it out the window, doesn't he? The wise man's head. And it lands in front of some carolers. They're like going ding dong belly on high, and like Ted and his wife are watching this, and he's like putting his arm around her, and she's like slapping his hand away because he's trying to touch her. Comedy.
Hey, Ted.
You just said he's a great guy, so. And it lands in front of him, and they go over, and he's like, and he says the name of the wise man. He's like, not something, but I can't remember what it was. And then it cuts, and Arnold. It's another pan zoom to Arnold's face going through the cracked window.
Yeah, the surprise.
So then he realizes, he runs in that like Ted and his wife, Arnold's wife, runs in, and like he's holding the Turbo Man still. I would have just put it under the fucking tree as fast as I could. Like, but for some reason, this Turbo Man's wrapped in Turbo Man paper, and it's been under the tree for like ages.
Yeah. People's presents under the tree before Christmas Eve. Santa's delivering the presents. What are you on about?
Our presents under the tree. You know why? Because Santa doesn't. He might come earlier. He might just come early. You know, I can't do that. We might have young viewers and small.
On the internet, go on NORAD's tracker. You can see where Santa is. He delivers them on Christmas Eve. True. NORAD said it himself. So.
I tell you what, we should have watched for this. There's a Mel Gibson film called Fat Man that's just come out, and he's playing Santa.
Maybe next year.
Next year, maybe, because I think that'd be amazing. Mad Max playing bloody Santa Claus. Anyway, so go in. Got the present. He's caught red-handed. His wife's really angry. They go to the fair.
The old
how does and he drinks with a reindeer. He drinks like whiskey with a reindeer. Oh my god! And he gives this reindeer whiskey. Like this reindeer's probably gonna die because he's good at whiskey.
Yeah.
So he does that, and then he decides he's gonna go to the fair and catch them up, doesn't he? And like apologize. So he goes to the fair after them.
It's one of those big American ones with the big floats, and they've got huge like snowmen and stuff and dancing.
Like Batman, like Batman '89.
Yeah,
like,
or Ferris Bueller's Day Off as well. Yeah,
another classic. Two classics.
Yeah. One. I don't know which. Probably Jingle All The Way, let's be honest. But
I think it is a classic, a modern. So he somehow gets there. He never shows how. Does it?
Oh, it's odd. He just runs. He's Arnie. He can run.
He runs like 60 miles.
The kids are at the front of the parade watching it. Arnie gets.
They leave the kids. They let the kids out of the car just to wander by themselves.
Walking in the middle of New York in like a huge parade where there's thousands of people.
I was saying to Brad, anyone that's played Heavy Rain, right?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Not a good idea.
No,
it's not a good idea.
I could not do that. That is a bad idea. But then Arnie sees his wife and Ted in the car, getting a bit handsy, or at least Ted getting a bit handsy. Yeah. Oh yeah, they got eggnog as well. So Arnie's like, so he charges the coffee over the policeman that he injured earlier.
And but he also pours eggnog all over Ted because he's trying to like rape her. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's trying to rape her. It's really bad.
Yeah.
The brightest guy in the world.
But he's a good lad. At heart, he just cares, doesn't he?
he just
at heart,
sexually assaults women.
Oh my god. But yeah, so he's running away from these police. He ends up in this back room. I can't even remember. Like, a lot happened. He ends up in a back room, and then there's loads of like crew members, like of a film, pretty much film crew kind of thing, who start dressing him up in the Turbo Man suit. And this
brilliant. That does the speech. The actor's brilliant. The guy who does the speech.
Oh yeah, the director guy who's feeding him. He just feels everything out about how the guy before him is injured and he's in hospital and you're not likely to have brain damage and Arnie's just like, what?
He's like Jim Carrey out of Batman Forever.
Yeah.
He's literally Enigma.
Yeah, he's like Jim Carrey. It was funny. So anyway, Arnie comes out.
This guy was paralyzed. No, it wasn't paralyzed. It was this guy. But there is some brain activity.
Yeah. There's one positive.
We're like, what is it?
What am I getting into? Anyway, so Arnie's just thrown onto this parade floor, which
he's Booster.
He's
before
Turbo Man. Oh yeah, well yeah, Booster's just this guy smoking who's just like, come on, we're here.
Well, he's Turbo Man.
So they're on this floor anyway, and Turbo Man he then finds out that
sweaty guy as well, isn't he? He looks like this horrible like homeless man or something.
What, Booster?
Yeah, Booster. The guy in the suit's like head stuck to his face, like, where the fuck have you been?
Like the guy out of Scrooge, isn't it? The taxi driver or something, some really like dodgy, scruffy guy. Yeah. But yeah, we get to the floor, and it turns out Arnie, being Turbo Man, can give out one Turbo Man doll to someone at the parade. So he's just like, "Where's my son? I'll give him one."
And he sees him, and he goes, and then they turn the volume up on his thing, and he goes, "Jamie," and he's like, "He knows my name."
And the mum's just like, "Wow," and it's like, "What? Would you not be a bit creeped out by that?" Not only the fact that
it's like you don't know it's him though, like the heavy Austrian accent.
Anakin runs up on the floor, goes right up to Turbo Man. He doesn't realise it's his own dad. Like half of his face is fully. His eyes are only behind like this thin, like red visor thing. He's just Arnie. How could you not tell that it's your dad?
Do you think that kid gets confused, like when in winter when Arnie puts a hat on? It's like, who are you?
Where did my father go? Yeah, that's why he's got like issues, and he needs this toy because and then so Sinbad pops up. He takes out the guy who's dressed as the bad guy from Turbo Man. So Sinbad's now the bad guy. So it's Arnie as Turbo Man, Sinbad as the evil Turbo Man. I don't know what it's called.
With like tinsel.
He's what?
He strangles the guy with tinsel.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah. So the other guy's just dead on a roof.
Puts the like tinsel go around this guy's neck and then being pulled up.
Yeah. So Sinbad comes up and he starts having a proper fight with Arnie. like just to get this toy, and then he takes the toy off the kid and like runs off with it. Oh wait, no, the kid runs off, doesn't he?
Yeah.
The kid runs off, trying to
Like,
not
run,
get
Jamie,
the
run.
get the toy, yeah, to get the Turbo Man. So he climbs up a roof because that's obviously the first place you go when you run away from someone, like climb on a roof.
And these like the Power Ranger like
Yeah, the weird
people
Power Ranger style
beating
back
the shit out of
just
Arnold.
beating up Arnie, like they're not actors. They're literally just beating him up for no reason. Like,
No, they do
Arnie.
go through him though. There is one line that I'm pretty sure is ADR, which is ADR is like when it puts it in afterwards. I'm pretty sure it is. Like after they've edited the film, they're like, we have to put something in here because it makes no sense. Because it just comes in, he goes, "Do you not know the choreography?" And it just cuts away.
All right, all right, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even hear that. Yeah. Oh, that's anyway. So Barney's just getting beat up. Anyway, so Annie and Sinbad are on the roof. They climb this fake Christmas tree, which falls over and it's dangling off the edge. Oh my God! Sinbad's trying to literally kill a child to get this toy. What a psychopath! He's actually trying to kill a child to get this toy. What? And then also, what grown adult chases this kid off a thing that dangles off the roof? He's on a roof. You just wait at the bottom wait for him to come back.
He climbs up after him, right? He climbs up, then it breaks, falls down. They're hanging off the edge of a thing, right? And then like he chucks a boomerang at Sinbad, doesn't he? And then like hits Sinbad.
Arnie's suit, which is just the weirdest thing ever. I was laughing so much when this started. Like Arnie's suit has all the Turbo Man powers.
Bear in mind, this is a local fair. Right? This is like something down the road from us.
On a float going down the road. And Arnie's in this, so he has like guns or something, doesn't he, in his arms, and then he has his boomerang as well, which he throws.
He shoots discs at Sinbad at one point, and like these fly past Sinbad as well. I was like, if they hit someone,
if they hit someone in the crowd, he's got lawsuits. That's it.
So anyway, Arnold's there. He hits Sinbad with the boomerang on like the back around, but Sinbad gets the toy and like he's like flying, falls, but he lands in like a present. He's like still alive. He's not dead, although it would have been funnier. Same with the bomb. No, so he falls and he's got the toy. He falls into like a box, and then he's like, you know, Turbo Man, use your jetpack because like he's falling. He's like,
hanging on. This Turbo Man suit made for a fair has a fully functioning jetpack on.
Like this is like nowadays there's still not a jetpack to this level. No. Like this is some good shit.
So just sat there, I was like, oh, it'd be funny if his jetpack just came out. Like if he had a fully functioning jetpack and he flew up, and he just pressed the button. He's like the turbo thing on his back starts working. I was just like, no way. So Arnie's flying all about the place because he can't control it.
He goes to like someone's house. It's like a family, isn't it? And then he flies that into the air in the worst sort of like CG you've ever seen. It's like a Google effect flying through the sky.
It's got his picture and then it's like Google Maps behind him pretty much in it. Like it's just 2D.
It's Google.
I found that really funny though.
And then after all this, right? Jamie's been falling for like 30 minutes. His son's just been like because he was falling to pick up. So then he falls and he catches Jamie just before he's about to hit the floor. And
Jamie's arm would clearly get ripped off this point. Like Jamie, not hold on.
But then he flies into the air, right? Middle of winter. Somehow they both aren't like frostbitten, like with the like in their face.
Come back his face should be like wind beaten, like red burns all over him from the freezing cold.
His eyes would be frozen open, like Christmas Vacation.
Yeah. Police come up to Sinbad. That's pretty much it. They save Jamie. Jamie answers the place. Police get to Sinbad.
Sinbad gets put away for life because he strangled a man with tinsel and blew the bomb.
The kid Annie gives Sinbad his Turbo Man doll because he's like, oh, you clearly want
give that to his kid before he gets locked away for life.
Yeah, it's like, you really need a Turbo Man doll. You're going to jail forever now. He's threatened a lot of lives. Right? You had a bomb. Literally, it was a terrorist.
You blew up a lot of police.
Yeah, he blew up 10 policemen. He's going to jail for life. But he's smiling on his way.
He probably not even make it to jail. They'll probably like dump him at the side of the road.
Not in this film, yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of it. And then they go back home, and the wife's like, oh, what did she say? You probably know actually, don't you?
She's like, oh, you went to all that trouble for.
Yeah.
Oh no, but first we've got the reveal of Turbo Man and the police officer. All that stuff. He takes the helmet off.
Oh
and
yeah,
he's like,
well yeah, he
it's
figures out that he
you.
died.
And then like he turns around and the police officer's like, thank you for all your service, Turbo Man. And then he turns around and he's like, oh no. Anyway, so it cuts to the wife at the end. She says, you went to all this trouble for Jamie. I wonder what you got me for Christmas. And Bradley's favourite shot comes
My
back.
favourite shot where he zooms in on Arnie's face again, looking shot, black around it. It's like, ooh. And what?
Right. Okay. So,
the whole film, he spent this whole day, and literally Arnie got nothing for his kid. His kid still doesn't have anything to open on Christmas Day.
No,
and
but
his
the
wife
moral of the
doesn't have
story is
anything
that
to
his
open on
dad
Christmas
is a real hero. He is his Turbo Man.
He isn't though. He was all an accident. He literally, like, he attempts to get a toy. He doesn't do all, and then he gets accidentally put in his fair. And it's like he didn't get his family. Ted over here. Jewel.
Be shut about the
America.
bloody sexual rapist Ted.
He got his kids loads of presents. That tree was stock full. It was, oh man, he was gonna have a good Christmas anyway. Yeah. So Arnie just does not care about his family. Is what I took from this. Yeah.
So once again, Bradley likes the character we're supposed to hate. No. So overall, I'd say this movie, honestly, for me, I mean, you know what mine's going to be. It's one of my favorite movies. Like, it's my favorite Christmas film, and it's one of my favorite movies. Now, I'm not going to say it's good, okay? But I'm going to say it's a good Christmas film, because it is. It's a bloody gets you in the spirit. All the Christmas stuff all around, all the songs, all the soundtrack of Turbo Man, like the effort that they put into designing Turbo Man, designing all the stuff. Although Turbo Man itself looks like a cheap knockoff from like that you get when you're in
plastic.
Spain.
Not worth £100, definitely.
But the amount of effort they put into this film, just set design wise, and then like Arnold, I don't think anyone else could have played this role and been so hilarious. Because all the lines of dialogue are just generic. And
good, yeah.
Arnold, it makes it funny because of the way he says it. So I would say, for me, can I? No, I need to leave wiggle room. I need to leave wiggle room for like future movies. 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I was thinking that actually because I've been thinking about what my scoring thing is because I feel like I've rated everything like between 6 and 8 so far, or not even that, like between 5 and 7. Like they're all just middle. Everything's good for me. But I feel like what I've realised, I think 6 and 7 are like good, and I happily watch them if you want to. 8 and 9 are ones that I'd recommend, and 10 is like 10. I just because it's hard to get perfect in anything really. So like 10 I'd reserve for like top 5 films if that. So that's why I think everything's slightly.
10 is probably going to be our next episode. I think next episode we're going to title it, and we can actually do the next episode because we know we're both off mostly for a little bit. Like so next episode is going to be me and Brad's. I mean, we have said we're going to do Last of Us, but at some point we will. Yeah. But next episode is going to be our favourite films, I would say, because I feel like we've got a lot to say about that.
Yeah.
I feel that'll be fun. We don't even have to. Well, actually, we probably should rewatch them. I should watch yours, and you should watch mine. And we should do it together. We'll do that soon, because that'll be fun. Because we don't need to put that off. Anyway, your rating for this before
this one, I think I'd rate it a 7. I think I enjoy this more than Christmas Carol and Grandma Got Run Over by Reindeer. Sorry, Mum. Sorry, everyone.
You know how glad I am that you enjoy this so much because it is my favourite.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't see it as much of a a technical masterpiece for me as some of the stuff.
I don't think it's a technical masterpiece.
I don't see all these great bits like the design and stuff like that. I just think Arnie was funny. Christmassy. That was about it.
and Sinbad was a loony. And
yeah. I just found it quite funny, and it was enjoyable. That was about it. So I'd give it a 7. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, 8. It's my favourite Christmas film.
It definitely made me feel more Christmassy than the other two, though.
It's weird though. This is my favourite Christmas film, but I'll probably give my other favourite Christmas film, which I've mentioned, which you know what it is because I told you, higher. because it's better, but this is still my favourite Christmas film.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that is the end of our Schmaltz Christmas special. As I said, you can look forward to the next episode, which will be our favourite films, fingers crossed. And then at some point we'll do Last of Us, because
when Last of Us 3 comes out.
yeah, honestly, I don't think I have the self-will, but we will do at some point. I have to replay the first one.
Yeah,
and
I'd be
after
happy
the
to replay the second one again, actually. I kind of want to, so.
But we
Yeah.
hope you all have a Merry Christmas
Merry Christmas.
and a Happy New Year if we don't see you before, because we might do.
I hope
And
all
we're
your
going to
hearts
end
desires
on Bradley's favourite shot. 3, 2, 1.